Order. Welcome. Thanks, everybody, for being here. Entertain a motion that we begin.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Start with a moment of silence. Please join us with that. Within that, after which Councilmember Smythe will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Moment of silence, please. Thank you very much.
Please stand.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Our Bonneville High students, they're making like 3 different city council runs tonight, so we will just put them into the program whenever they get here. So they're coming to talk about the graduation party and our donation for that. It's time for public comment. We invite anybody to come and address the mayor, council, and staff. Those watching online, you can also make a public comment. Just write the words public comment in the comment section. And we'll give you till 6:13 for that. Seeing none in chambers, we'll move on to item 5, the consent agenda. 3 things there. Approval of the January 16th and February 6th, 2024 council minutes. Also advice and consent of the appointment of Brock Grisham to the Planning Commission, and his letter of intent and resume has been handed out, so look through that if you have not already. And then, due to the caucus meetings, we'd like to cancel our March 5th, 2024 council meeting so that you all can go to those meetings if you choose. Questions or comments? Brock, we invite you, please. Brock, invite you to come up and introduce yourself and hit a couple of highlights maybe of what's on here or anything else you forgot to add or just anything else.
I'm Brock Gresham. I live here in South Ogden with my wife and stepson. We live 5062 South, 1150 East. We lived here since, I've lived here since 2004. She's been here since 2008. Good place. We've had opportunities. We moved from one house off of Madison Avenue here over into this house. So we was looking for houses, but we wanted to stay in South Ogden. We like it here. So Chaz has came up through South Ogden schools, went to Bonneville High. Anyway, I'm a retired police officer. Now I'm working code enforcement for the same city. I retired, took a year off. Then they took me back a couple years later. Really like it. I enjoy it. That's actually how I become to learn about Planning Commission a little bit. I work with them a little bit in Roy. So thought it would be interesting. Maybe this is my way to give back.
Okay, any questions for Brock?
I have one there.
Yeah, please.
What interest do you have in the Planning Commission? If you were on the commission, what would be your initiative, goal, and projective?
I will be honest with you, I'm at a beginner's level of this.
Okay.
And I think that's what interests me. I see what our Planning Commission has done in Roy City a little bit. I know there's a lot to learn and a lot that I just don't know. So I think that I'm interested in that part. The city property use stuff around here and helping make decisions with that.
Thank you.
Yeah, I've been able to point a few people to the Planning Commission, and I've found some have more experience than others in these kind of things. I've found it's those that love the city, want to be involved, are intelligent, and get along with other people, make the best planning commissioners. It's been really interesting to see and I've also tried to get people from different backgrounds, different parts of the city. That's what I liked about Brock. We seem to be very north heavy in the Planning Commission, trying to get people from the other end, more of a broad area. And so Brock was a great candidate that Councilor Howard referred me to. And so we're glad to have you. 2 retired cops. I don't know.
Can't be all that bad.
That's probably it now. We probably met the quota.
That'll be a problem.
Just kidding. Thank you. Any other questions for? Okay, thank you. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Welcome. Councilmember Stewart.
I just had a note on the minutes on page 46, line 31.
Is this the
There-
16th or the 6th?
Well, it's on page 46. I could
Okay.
pull it up if you'd like, but
Is this
that's the
six?
reference.
helping Lisa find it?
And she's aware, it just needs to
Okay.
be changed, the spelling.
Okay. Anything else? With that, then entertain a motion that we approve the 3 items on the consent agenda.
So move.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Awesome. It's too late now. I already did that. All right, let's go to item 6, one of our discussion action items, approval of the wording on Heritage Trail monuments. But before that, come on up, ladies. Perfect timing. These are 2 of our officers from Bonneville High School. It's the yearly request for help with the graduation party. Please introduce yourselves. Tell us why you're here, even though I kind of just did.
Okay, I'm Fair Bolthorpe, and this is Elise Smith. We're student government officers with Bonneville High School. We're currently in the middle of planning our senior graduation party, which we hold every year down at the junction to help keep our fellow peers safe and off the roads, and to keep them away from drugs and alcohol abuse during this. We know you guys help with this every year, and we're super grateful for it, and we just hope you guys are willing to help us this year. We have a letter.
Okay, I'll take that. Actually, give it to. Any questions for? How was your trip to Washington, D.C.?
Wonderful. Wonderful.
It was. It's good to have you there. Okay, thank you, too. Appreciate all you do.
Thank you. We appreciate it. Enjoy your night.
Mayor,
Please.
what's the request amount? Did that change?
It's $500 still. Yeah.
500, okay. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's been that for many, many years. Yeah, if I was one of the 2 students that went to that Bonneville Communities That Care trip to Washington, D.C. with us, and she is a great leader. She was able to present to Senator Romney and talk to Representative Moore, and did a good job of representing our area and the youth. So, are there any online comments? Okay, Jamie, come and read those in for the minutes, please.
Okay, this public comment is from Judy Nickens. How do I go about requesting a streetlight on the intersection of Cedar Lane and Skyline?
Okay. Thank you, Judy. Now we passed on to our Public Works Director, and they will look at that intersection and let you know what they find out. So, thank you very much. Thanks, Jamie. Okay, now let's go to our approval of wording on our Heritage Trail monuments. Mr. Dixon.
Thank you. Was that last comment, was that a street light or a
A street light.
street light? In my mind, it was a,
I don't think it's out.
It
I
was
think
a
it's
signal
I think it's
light, but
dark.
it's a street light.
I think it's actually
Okay.
there isn't. I believe there isn't one there, and wants one there.
okay. No, I just, in my mind, I saw a traffic light.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, okay. So this agenda item has to do with our Heritage Trail project. I was just looking for maybe a diagram of the project. This might be the one, or it might not be. Okay. So this is Friendship Park. H. Guy Child Elementary is right here. And so this project's been in the work for a few years. Got some ramp grant funding to help. And we've had a great committee. Councilmember Smythe, Councilmember Howe now in place of former Councilmember Stray, and Mayor Porter have been on the committee, as well as really expert historians that we're very fortunate, live some in South Ogden and in the area and are willing to help. And so what's before you tonight is the language of, these monuments have a limitation, obviously, and how many words you can actually fit on any given monument. And that number, according to the monument company, is about 150 words. And so the challenge is, what do you say in 150 words to communicate, the historical message that needs to be communicated? Tonight, there are two monuments, and they're both three-sided monuments. The first one is geology and geography, and the three sides will be, as you can see here, geography of the area. Did I do two geographies? That's my bad. There should be a geography and a geology. And then the third one is Lake Bonneville. Then the second monument is about trappers and mountain men, and we have Miles Goodyear, the American Fur Trade, and Peter Skeen Ogden. At this point, I guess the direction that I think would be helpful from the council, Dr. Richard Sadler authored Monument 3, and Dr. Gene Sessions authored the work primarily on Monument 1. Yesterday, I got an email from Dr. Sadler who said, I want to review these just kind of one last time, but we already had this on the agenda and kind of prepared for this. So I guess I'm wondering what the comfort level would be from the council, that if Dr. Sadler sends me his final version of Monument 3, and it might be slightly different than what's on before you tonight, are you okay to allow us as a committee to move forward and start the engraving on the monument? Or do you want that to come back to you to say, no, we'd like to see any final changes?
It would be very slightly different. Like, these are final drafts, barring
Yes.
more like a typo or something.
I would
believe.
expect they would be what we would call non-substantive changes, where it might be just a word or two here. They've already spent a considerable amount of time on these, so I don't anticipate that they would change much. But I also recognize they might change, and I don't want to be in a position where, it's a different version than what you've seen. Now, having said that, I'm just realizing that I did not include geology, and I need to be sure I've included the right geography, so I've got to go research that.
It's the short one.
That's the final one, the short one, okay.
I have one on Lake Bonneville. Is that part of it also?
Yes, yep, that's a part of Monument 1.
The
This year.
geography is on one side, probably the longer version of that, and then geology is the one that's missing at this point.
Yep.
So it's mostly Dr. Gene Sessions and Dr. Richard Sadler, both South Ogden residents. We were state professors for many, many years. And then also on our committee that gives lots of input and vets these is,
Dr. Caitlin?
oh yeah, we also have
Catherine.
Catherine McKay.
Catherine McKay
And then
and
it's,
Dr. Gary
The
Boatwright.
Gary Boatwright, who is the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints Historical Site Director
For all of the state, the
for,
LDS Church monuments.
yes, so it's quite a good group that
He
is
knows a little bit about
a lot of checks and balances with what goes best and what grade level to write them at and things like that, so it's been a great group.
And there's been plenty of discussion of what should be on there and what shouldn't, and we've perused this and perused it so that it would be most meaningful.
I would venture to say that since there's three of us on that committee, that any changes, albeit minor, wouldn't need to come back to the council. I don't think that's necessary to take our time for that.
Unless we feel like it changes the substance, like say if it's a synonym or a typo type thing, grammar.
Well, that would be the direction I'd like as staff, just for the committee's sake too, so that we know. And Monument 2 and Monument 4 are not far behind, so we hope to be seeing those. I'm trying to remember, we have two monuments that have arrived, and we've got 2 more that are en route. I think they're supposed to be here maybe in June. So, yeah, we'd like to move forward, get the engravings done on these first 2, and we can start preparing for their installation in the coming months and start the project. Be good. I will make a note to email you I'll verify geology and
Geography.
geography.
Which geography is correct.
And which geography is correct.
How's the installation, Matt, on these?
What is it?
How's the installation?
Mr. Anderson Mr. Anderson's not here. And he told me he wouldn't be here. I was like, there'll be a concrete pad that'll be poured.
Okay.
And then the monuments will sit on a pad. There'll be some footings that'll be poured. And our Parks Department said they'll be able to do that part of it. And then the monument company will come and set the monuments in place. There will probably have to be some rerouting of the irrigation system. So there'll be some additional expense, minor, but we can't have the irrigation water just sprinkling on these over time. They'll get hard water, and it'll be a little harder to keep them looking nice long term. So we're going to have to figure that out as we go.
Feel good? Got direction? Okay. Item 7, our first discussion item is a proposed amendment to adjust the ADU setbacks to 5 feet. Lisa, Mr. Dixon, whoever's taking lead on that. I usually know. I didn't check tonight.
So a month or so ago, you passed an ordinance that would allow detached ADUs. And during that conversation, I believe it was council member, council member, why can't I remember her name?
Or
Thank you. Oh my gosh. I apologize, Councilmember Orr, if you're listening. Councilmember Orr said that she felt like 1 foot was too close to the property line to allow detached ADUs. And the reason that the Planning Commission wanted them that close is because right at that point, it was that they could be the same distance as a shed or a detached garage. And the Planning Commission wanted those still to just be 1 foot. And so so what they did was the Planning Commission just changed it so that only detached ADUs have to be 5 feet from the rear or side yards, and the detached garages and sheds will still be 1 foot. So that's what's being proposed to you this evening, and that's about it.
Comments?
So kind of to clarify what Lisa had said, there was only one definition for an accessory building. And so if you made the ADUs, which was an auxiliary dwelling unit or accessory dwelling unit, they were the same setbacks. So what ended up happening, and Lisa, if I'm correct, this now reads that they're 2 separate. We have accessory buildings that can still be 12 inches from the property line, and we have ADUs, which are 5 feet. And the ADUs are built compliant to building code with firewalls and all that kind of stuff that make those necessary adjustments for those setbacks. So you can still put a shed up to, 200 square feet without a permit, put it on your property, and it still can be 12 inches from the property line. It also doesn't have, the accessory buildings don't have the same requirements from not only the property line setbacks, from the distance from eave to eave that an accessory dwelling unit would now require.
Yeah, it's one thing to have a garage a foot away, it's another thing to have someone living a foot away.
Right.
So,
And the key word there was dwelling.
And we also, as we were doing it, realized that we hadn't done anything different for corner lots, and so that was added here as well. So that's in line with what we require, things like sheds and detached garages to be 20 feet from the property line on the side where the main dwelling side yard faces the street. So houses on the court right there.
I
anybody?
do have a
Yeah.
question on the 10
Please.
feet. What is that, does that mean it's 10 feet from the dwelling that's adjacent to it, or how is that worked into the process?
Yes. 10 feet from any dwelling on an adjacent lot. So it's not just any building, it's it has to be a house or another ADU. It's a dwelling,
Something that's lived in.
yeah.
Okay.
So that would apply to the neighbors, is that right? Is that what it was for?
Yes.
Yeah, trying to be accommodating to ADUs without making it terrible for the neighbor if you build one, so. Okay, any other comments or questions on that? Okay. So you bring it back to a next meeting with, as an ordinance then, as a change? Okay. Okay. I see some head nods. We don't need a motion for that, just a direction,
Yeah.
okay.
Keep going.
All right, item B, potential dates for a combined city council planning commission meeting. That's one of our plans that we've done periodically. I think it's very helpful for both groups. Mr. Dixon?
Yeah, just wanted to get that scheduled, and I think in the past, we've invited the planning commission to join you in a work session, depending on what ends up being on that agenda. It might be worth maybe an extended little work session, either trying to start maybe at 4 before a council meeting to take a couple hours, or schedule a completely different meeting on a different day. I don't know, Lisa, do you think an hour is sufficient? Because I know that you and Mark have talked a little bit about some of the things with, Mark's got some examples of some projects that other cities have done to try and revitalize some of their downtown areas or create kind of a civic space. What do you think, Lisa? Sorry to just put you on the spot here, but
I think an hour would do for that, if that's all you want to do. I didn't know if we were anticipating changing any of the things in our general plan as far as for the housing module that,
the strategies we have to update.
yeah, well, not
Or-
that,
oh.
but, well, yes, I guess, just, are we going to do anything else? Are we going to keep the same ones that we have there now?
Right.
Or have we completed one of those already?
We've got a couple that are considered ongoing, and we
Okay.
can have ongoing, but we do have to show, that kind of goes back to some of the data questions we had in our plan to say,
Yeah.
if these are ongoing, then we probably need to be gathering some data to help support that we're paying attention to it.
Okay,
So I don't know that we need to change any of the strategies this year. But-
so if we don't need to, then,
Maybe an hour
Yeah.
would be sufficient? Okay.
yeah.
Thanks for joining us in that conversation.
Well, we're just, I'm part of me, I mean, I don't have a meeting, just have a meeting, but I just don't know if an hour would, we feel like we're constrained, feel like we're you know, there's a fifth Tuesday in April. Is that, do we want to have it sooner than that, or something like April 30th? And I'd almost rather have it a separate meeting and have light meal, light refreshments. Have a little,
Tony's?
you know, we haven't had one for a while. We've got new commissioners, we've got new council members.
I think there's some worthwhile things. In our strategic plan, we've put in catalytic projects. The Planning Commission has given you a prioritized list of those. That could be a really good discussion to say, why did you prioritize these, to help you decide which of these do we want to take on? And I think that there could be some good discussion on those catalytic projects as well. So, yeah, I think to what you're saying, Mayor, if we scheduled, we wouldn't be bound by, hey, we have a regular meeting to get to, schedule just its own time.
Is that too late, or is that the time frame we're looking at, like an April 30th?
We're not in a hurry for anything. When I
Okay.
say we, I mean the Planning Commission doesn't have anything that they need to know or talk about right away.
Lisa, we're not waiting on the general plan amendment. Is that going to be moving forward?
Yes.
Okay. Because we do need to get the general plan updated
Yeah.
for the housing strategies. Yeah, we need to get that done as soon as we can, so.
That's on their agenda
Okay.
for
That would be my only
March.
concern, if that were getting held up, but. What was the date? on
April
that?
30th, Tuesday night,
April 30th.
6 o'clock to 7:30. Light dinner served.
I'm available.
Church meeting that night, and I'm
You in Mexico?
secretary,
You good?
so I have to be there.
Lisa, are you good?
I'm good.
It starts at 6:30.
Is that we can cater from one other place too, from Mr. Dixon that night.
I can bring my own trail mix or something.
There's always one.
Yeah, well,
It's usually me. That's why I picked a night I could go.
I might make it,
Everybody else is good.
Was that not a good night? then?
leave earlier.
I just don't.
The fourth Tuesday of the month is
It's a fifth Tuesday.
Tuesday.
It's a fifth Tuesday.
Oh, fifth Tuesday. Oh, I can make that one.
Okay.
It's the fourth Tuesday, I'm tied up.
Let's plan on that then, April 30th.
Okay, good.
Planning Commissioner Gresham, you available on April 30th? Okay, put in your phone. Okay, perfect, thank you.
Is that gonna be 5
Uh,
o'clock or when?
Next is reports direction to the city manager. We'll start with Councilmember Howard.
I was just going to welcome Commissioner Gresham. I was impressed when he contacted me. I've been actually bugging him for a while to take part and bring some of his knowledge. He's a humble guy. You'll never see him eat, so if we do have Tony's, he will not eat in front of anybody.
Okay.
I don't know what it is.
We'll
but
just save money right there, it's fine.
I will eat your portion for you. So, I'm welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Stewart.
Thanks. Several things from me this week. I listened to USU Research Landscapes about canal trails, and they were talking about funding. They were talking specifically about canal trails, but I wondered if any of them would work for any of our active transportation trails. So those, I think, I would be best just to pass on maybe to Matt. But anyway, it has some options possibly for our city. And then I've had several residents contact me about some concerns. I talked to John about the fire hydrant and if we can do something to make sure that we've got painting in front of fire hydrants. He said we don't really have a system right now for that. It'd be great, I think, if we had, and maybe that's what, like with the GIS that we've talked about, updating stuff so it's all on GIS, so that when a road gets redone and the curb is affected, that it's just automatically they go around and do repaint it, right? So that it's painted so that people don't park in front of the fire hydrants. And then another comment today, someone was talking to me about the apartments here on 40th, and they were concerned about the left-hand turns into and out of the apartments. They were concerned about the safety of that. They asked if there was something we could do to either prevent left turns in and out or something, just to look at it for safety reasons. And the final comment was about raccoons, and they were wondering if couldn't the city do something about raccoons. They just have a raccoon issue that's driving them nuts. So those are the items for me today.
Thank you. Councilmember Howe.
Just tomorrow's our last Northern Utah Chamber Coalition meeting at the state capitol for Legislative Affairs Committee. If you haven't been paying attention to the legislation, we've got a very, Mr. Dixon has been very vocal with our local representatives and sending out emails and doing a good job there. Mayor Dandoy from Roy City has also been very vocal. This is the first year we've also had a municipalities committee headed by Mayor Dandoy, and so he's kept an eye on a lot of that stuff. And I don't know, we'll see how the legislative session ends here in the next week or so.
Yeah,
That's all I
thank
got.
you. Lots to watch there. Councilmember Smythe.
I've just been listening to the Utah Women's League, and they've got a number of things going, and in March they moved their meeting to honor women in legislature, so I will be attending that meeting.
Awesome.
So other than that,
Thank you.
just the same complaints from my neighborhoods about cars parked on the sidewalks and not cleaning up yards. And I've already talked to Chief about it, and he says spring's coming, so they'll get on it.
Yep. That will do. Okay, thank you. Councilmember Stevens.
Thank you, Mayor. I also would like to congratulate Commissioner Gresham. You had a little bit of taste or an idea of ADUs, and that's exactly what the Planning Commission does. It's probably one of the most important committee meetings in the city, because you really do the groundwork for us as a council, and so the Planning Commission is very important in developing the city and bringing the city into productivity and the goals that we have. I'm also supportive of the youth, Mayor. I thought that was outstanding to have the senior class come from Bonneville, and I support that 100%. They're the ones that are going to sit in this chair in the future, and it's well to groom the youth that we have throughout the city. I've been aware of, if you go down Chimes View to Riverdale Road and then the next road down, I don't know who's responsible for that, but as that next road that goes down from Riverdale Road to Wall Avenue, there's two large potholes there, and I don't know.
Past tense. Those were filled today.
Oh, are they? Okay.
That is
good.
ours. That's still Chimes View, and that's ours, so as long as
Okay.
it's this side of the concrete gutter. Otherwise, it's the state, but those were ours. And
Okay. I'm glad to hear that. I went down on Monday, I think it was Monday or Saturday, and it was, they were getting deeper and deeper all the time.
yes, underground parking more than a pothole.
But I do appreciate that, Mayor, and that's all I have.
Thank you. Mr. Dixon.
Thank you, Mayor. Not a whole lot tonight. Just thanks for the time you spent with our strategic planning retreat. I know it's not easy to take time away from family. I've been doing those for many, many years. That was probably as good a one as I can recall being a part of. Just the team, the discussion. I felt like, there was good debate, discussion, prioritizing, and It just made me super optimistic about, you know, what the city can accomplish in the coming years as we continue to work together and work through things. And so, yeah, thank you. And thanks to the staff who helped get that organized and prepared, and then those who attended. I thought it was excellent. So thank you. Yeah, Councilmember Howe mentioned the legislative session's coming to an end in a week and a half here. Next Monday will be the last LPC meeting. So stay tuned. I'll try to text you. We're kind of down to that time of the session where I'll get a text or an email from the league that says, hey, you guys need to contact your legislator right away. This is the time where silly bills show up out of nowhere and end up getting moved and voted, and we're left going, what happened? So, but kudos to our Utah League team. It just blows my mind how many bills they track and the hours they spend on behalf of all cities down there. It makes it a little easier for us to listen to the league instead of having to pay attention to all that on our own. There's no way. It just wouldn't happen. Other than that, Mayor, I think...
Want to talk raccoons? You want me to do it?
The answer is no. We don't do anything with raccoons. Bless their hearts. Yes, we do not have a raccoon program.
And the DWR is not very much help either. You're pretty much on your own. So. Yeah.
I just need I just want to verify final count. I just want to make sure anyone planning to attend the Utah League Conference in April, even if you've already told me, would you just remind me, yes, plan on me, so that I can, I'll probably plan on getting everyone registered tomorrow. And so Mayor, Kai, Mike, Doug.
I'll be down there for work already, so I'll just see you there.
Perfect.
Unless you need to register with me for a different
Probably
badge.
need to are you going to be there as a vendor?
Yeah.
Or will you be? Okay.
Yeah, if you want to register.
Will you
me
be
as
able to attend classes?
I think so, because I'm going with 3 other guys, so.
Okay.
Yeah, you want to go, just register me anyways.
I probably will, because if you're going to go to classes and
Yeah.
stuff, you're not just going to be at a vendor booth.
Yeah.
You'll be, okay. Councilmember Smythe or Stewart? No? Okay. Oh, okay. Okay, we're not up against any hard deadlines. I just, man, when it's on my mind, I got to get it registered, because I'm the type that you guys will show up down there and be like, I thought we were registered, so you're okay still, like, we're not up against any deadlines yet. But I'll go ahead and register those who know for sure, and then go from there. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Yeah, also lots of thanks for the retreat. Every department was represented there and represented well, and I was the closest to the final score on the Super Bowl prediction, so not who I wanted, but what I thought, because I gamble with my heart, my head, not my heart, and so I was right. Let it be written. And same award I get for everything else I win, pretty much nothing, but it's all good. This Thursday, I have the opportunity to be on a panel at the Eccles Conference Center. It's the Winter Summit, sponsored by We Were Human Services through Bonneville Communities That Care, and they're doing a key leader panel, so I get to be a part of that this Thursday morning. So if you're extremely bored, but yeah, looking forward to that. Some great opportunities through all the good work that Bonneville Communities That Care does and their connection with Weber Human Services. So I appreciate that, and appreciate you guys for tracking the legislature, and Mayor Dan, do I get nice, good reports without having to spend my days on there, so which I can't do very well. So thank you for that, and unless anybody has anything else, entertain a motion that we adjourn.
So move. Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. You guys email if you got questions.